let's go back and think about that iced tea for just a second. If it was made too concentrated for you, what could you do to make it weaker, to decrease that concentration? Because you didn't like it, it was too strong. So, what you definitely can do is add more water. The process of adding more water to something is known as dilution. Um, Super important in chemistry, especially in the industry. Uh, Often, chemists will buy large quantities of highly concentrated chemicals. Like I might buy acid in a very concentrated form, but we don't want to use it that concentrated because it's dangerous. So I will mix it with water and dilute it before we actually use it in class to make it safer. But it's a lot easier to buy the real concentrated stuff and dilute it down. So, what dilution is basically a procedure for making a less concentrated solution from a more concentrated solution. Um, the way that you do that, or figure out how to do that, is using this formula here: M1V1 equals M2V2. Basically, the concentration times the volume of your first solution, your concentrated solution, is equal to the concentration times the volume of your second solution, or your less concentrated, more dilute solution. So that's concentration or molarity times volume equals molarity times volume. So let's try some examples of this. We have 240 milliliters of a 3.5 molar solution, and we want to dilute that to 300 milliliters of solution. What's the new molarity? Calculate that new molarity. So we have 240 milliliters, and this is the concentration. If we dilute it to make it 300 milliliters, what's the new concentration? So basically, we take our M1, that's concentration 1, 3.5, times V1, 240, equals concentration 2, or molarity 2, which we don't know, times volume 2, which is 300. So when we work this problem through, do our little algebra magic, we get that the new molarity is 2.8. So it went down from 3.5 to 2.8 because we increased the volume. We diluted it. Now look at this problem. This time we have 7.8 liters of a 2.0 molar solution is diluted by the addition of 10 liters of water. Calculate the new molarity. This one you have to be careful with because we're adding 10 liters of water. That's not our new total volume. Right? Our new total volume is both of these together. So be real careful when you make up your problem. Here we have molarity 1, the initial molarity 2.0, times the initial volume 7.8 is equal to, here's my x for my new molarity that I don't know, times my second volume, which is 17.8. Remember I said you have to add these two together, 10 plus 7.8, because we're adding that much water. When you work that problem through, you get 0.88 moles per liter is my new concentration. So I went from 2 down to 0.88. My concentration got less because my volume went up. Here's another problem. This time, we're going to find volume. It says, what volume of 9.3 molar hydrosulfuric acid, let me start that over. So what volume of this concentration of H2SO4, which is sulfuric acid, is needed to obtain 450 milliliters of 2 molar sulfuric acid? So we have this highly concentrated 9.3 molar acid, and we want to decrease the concentration. So how much of that will we need to get my 450 mils of the new solution? So this time we have M1, my initial concentration, 9.3, times V1, which is X, that's my unknown, equals M2, my new concentration, 2.0, times 450, which is my new volume. That's what I'm trying to find. So when I work that through, I get 97 milliliters. So I need 97 milliliters of the concentrated stuff mixed with water to get this more dilute acid. Now, think about this question for a second. What always happens to the molarity when water is added? So anytime you add water to a solution, what happens to the molarity? Hopefully you said it decreases. As you add water, the concentration decreases of anything. So the molarity will decrease when water is added. What would you have to do in order to increase the molarity? So we've got this stuff. It is too dilute. We need to increase it. Hopefully you said increase the moles or add more solute. So you add more stuff, right? If it's tea, you add more of the powdered tea, or if it's Kool-Aid, you add more Kool-Aid. Um, or if it's acid, you'd add more of the concentrated stuff. You can also evaporate off the water, but that would take some time. Like say you have tea and it's too weak and you don't like it. You don't want to have to wait to evaporate the water. No, you're thirsty now. So you would just increase the amount of stuff that you're adding, the solute. So hopefully now you can calculate the molarity of a solution and then figure out the molarity of a solution after it is diluted. We will work on some problems in class.